Hello, ladles, jelly spoons, and other non-binary kitchen utensils. This is the Gravy Wheels podcast, episode 24. That means we've made it 6 months. I'm your host, Franklin.
I'm Andrew.
How? And I'm Hova.
Wow. Discord didn't pick any of that up.
Oh.
Oh, let me say. Okay, let me softer. Howdy ho, I'm Hova. Is that better?
No,
it's actually not.
It still zapped that?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's definitely pretty good.
All right, so let me break it down for the audio listeners that got gypped out of that experience. I was trying to give Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh's Heidi Ho intro, and but they're running software that hates me. So
no, that's not how it works. It's on our end.
It only takes care of our voices.
Yeah, it doesn't take care of
so it's my stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what he tried to do was Howdy ho.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. Anyways, it probably picked up on I don't know. We'll see. Anyways,
the audio listener will get to enjoy that, but the YouTube listener will not.
There it is. Yeah. Is that another gaming screenshot, Frank?
Yeah, it is.
It looks pretty photorealistic.
It is.
Is that from Final Fantasy Umpteen?
It is. It is from Final Fantasy 15.
They don't have bridges in Final Fantasy.
They have cars in this one. Have you finished it yet?
I mean, that kind of
grinding away on it for
that
a long
kind of
time.
depends. So yes and no, but I did get this
certificate of completion. All your boys, Noctis, Jeff, David.
I have not heard of these stands.
And Tranch back there.
Yeah. So
is their K-pop band any good, or?
I don't know. I think it took me like 109 hours or something like that. I can't see. It's doing weird stuff. No, yeah, finally beat that. Took me way too long. It was satisfying to finish it. The story was something. No, I'm glad I beat it, and I can't wait for the next one. And I'm actually probably going to go back and beat some of the other ones that I never fully beat. So I did it wrong, though. I did all the side quest stuff, and I neglected the story, and I don't think the story's that great. I had a lot more fun doing the side quest stuff and collecting things and doing this and that. Totally cheesed the last 2 chapters. And what kind of makes me mad is I read this website that told me that the last chapter only takes like 45 minutes to finish. And it took me like 2.5 or 3 hours to finish it. That's cutscenes, fights, and I cheesed all the fights too.
That's some Kojima shit.
But yeah, no, I'm done with that. I'm on to newer and greater things. But I'm playing Shadow Warrior 2. I'm almost done with that. But what have you two been playing recently?
For me, I've been ping-ponging between a lot of different games lately. I've been
you always played a lot of ping pong.
He did.
I did enjoy Rockstar Table Tennis.
I remember.
I'll see. I've been playing Manhunt, the PS2 game. I've had like a lot of nostalgia for PS2 and PS1 era, like action survival horror games. So I on Good Old Games, I bought The Suffering and its sequel. They look like just like kind of crummy, like midway action games.
Whoa!
What?
Stop.
Nah.
That's what GOG stands for?
Halt.
Yeah, Good Old Games.
I bought so many games off there, and I did not know. They've taken so much of my
I didn't know that either.
And that's their what?
Yep.
So
heard it here.
I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt you too much, Andrew, because I know you weren't done yet. But I've had a lot of people suggesting Manhunt because I just finished my Bully Let's Play, and they want me to do other Rockstar games, and they know I enjoy Rockstar games. So I want to hear from you if you think, knowing how I play games, would I enjoy Manhunt, and kind of what is the. I mean, I kind of understand a basic concept, but I don't know too much. So,
well, the pitch of the game is very much like in the Schwarzenegger movie, The Running Man, right?
Right.
I mean, the game is basically the same plot. You're a convict. You're plopped in this like vacant city, and you have to get from point A to point B while there's a bunch of people who are trying to murder you for like entertainment.
Nice.
But it's really stealth centric, so it's a lot of sneaking up, a lot of like trying to strangle people from behind.
Okay.
You can try to play it fighting and stuff, and like running and hiding, breaking line of sight and stuff.
A lot harder, I'm guessing.
Yeah, if you get mod by like 2 people, you're pretty much fucked.
Okay.
But I think Brian Cox does like all the narration in it, which is really cool. He's great. And the big thing about it is that the kills are like really graphic. So like whenever you're sneaking up behind somebody, you have to hold down the attack button to like charge up your like finisher. And you can let it go instantly and you'll do something really basic. But to get more points, you want to charge it up longer, and every single weapon has 3 different like fatality kind of things associated with it.
Interesting, but it doesn't play like other Call of Duty or other GTAs in the sense that it's like open world, free roam, go around, start a mission, side missions type stuff. Okay.
Nope.
It's more linear.
It's very linear, very gory. There's one animation where you get like a piano wire and you garrote somebody, but then you start to do this, and you eventually cut their heads off. Yeah.
Holy hell!
That was
Sounds awesome.
That was part of the reason. Stop. That was part of the reason why that game got like for being so graphic. Was that
like that a triple M rating or some shit?
That scene specifically, I remember when that first came out. Like this is he used piano wire to fucking saw somebody's neck off.
There's some pretty rough ones in there, yeah. And the game itself is fine. If I wasn't currently in the mood for that sort of thing, I probably wouldn't be enjoying it very much.
Right.
And I'm actually not enjoying it very much, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, continue your games.
I finished. I can't remember if we talked about this or not, but I played through Metal Gear on the MSX, the original Metal Gear. And I started playing Metal Gear Solid on the PC, which is great. I never really played the PS1 version, so that's nice.
I got something.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that version on the MSX is the original version without all the shit cut out of it that was cut out on the Nintendo. So you got the full Kojima experience.
That's right. Apparently he's disavowed the NES version.
Yes.
Seems a little dramatic to me, but now I got to figure out how to get Metal Gear 2. I have to download like a MSX emulator. It's going to be a pain in the ass.
No, I'm going to have to call the feds on you on that because that's illegal.
That's okay.
Have you had time to check out that website that I sent you?
No, I haven't. Not yet. It's on my to-do list though.
For sure. It's pretty cool. I messed around with it a little bit.
I'm wondering if they have stuff on there like Vagrant Story and like all
they
those
do.
RPGs.
Vagrant Story is on there. Yep.
From everything that I could think of, now I'm a basic bitch, so it was like Army Men 3D and Tony Hawk were about the only things that. No, I searched quite a few games. Every game that I could think of from my history, I looked it up and it was there. It was playable. So, and everything that I actually tried playing, I just plugged in an Xbox One controller and it was pre-mapped and everything was fine. And you can actually change the button mapping if you need to. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I remember there was game saves. So
nice.
It's worth checking out for sure.
You even said
I'll definitely set somebody on fire and siphon filter with a taser.
Oh, hell yeah.
You even said that it had Silent Bomber on it, which was a throwback. We played the fucking shit out of that game on a demo disc. Not even the full game, the damn demo disc, because that's what we got down to.
It took me a while to kind of remember how to play it, and I'm pretty sure it was on that website. But I got all the way. I'm pretty sure I remember telling you guys, I was like, dude, this game is way harder than I remember. I got all the way to the boss of just the first, like the introduction level. And I can't remember if I beat the boss or not. I know I spent a decent amount of time trying, and it was pretty hard, man. That game is pretty difficult. It's fun. I remember just playing the hell out of that on the demo disc, and it's funny that you were just mentioning Siphon Filter, because that was also another one. It was Siphon Filter 2, and there was that level where you're on top of a train, I believe is how it started out. And I remember playing both of those like just so much on a demo. There were so many of those that were just demo games were just free games for whenever you were a kid and you knew that you probably shouldn't ask for another video game yet because your mom was going to fucking backhand you if you did. And they were free, so why not? But it was easy back in the day to convince your parents for like, I mean, what was it? Like $15 a month at the most for PlayStation Magazine or Xbox Magazine?
But a new game was
It wasn't that bad.
But how much was a new
Yeah,
game?
$60 a time, a drop every, so yeah, 50, 60, something like that.
Back then, I thought they were
50 in
only
those
like
days.
40. PS1.
I think it's always because even back in the SNES days, there was like $80, $90 games.
Yeah, that was different though because those
Right.
games had hardware. in them.
Cartridges were so expensive.
Well, they had reasons to cost different amounts.
Right,
As opposed to
right.
a disc, which it's just a fucking disc. It's a flat cost.
Right.
But also, Frank and I think soon Joey have been playing Phasmophobia. So
Downloaded
That-
it. I'm ready to get
Alright.
down on that.
Let's
We're gonna do
jump.
some-
Well, all right, we're gonna get to Phasmophobia, but let's let Hova talk about what he's been playing recently because we're gonna dig into this shit. What have you been playing
Okay.
recently?
So I've been playing a little bit of COD Mobile. I tried that out again because they did events for shut up. Dude, okay. COD Mobile is fantastic. It really is. They mashed all the good maps from all the good CODs and really good weapons and attachments and stuff.
that
They actually
Rust?
made a really good game.
Is Rust on there?
Rust or Dust?
Both.
Rust.
DE Rat.
Rust is an MW2 game. No, it's not on. I don't think it's on. It might be. Shit, I don't know.
It shouldn't.
But
be, 'cause that game
it's really
fucking-
good. It's just a shame. It's just a shame that it's locked to mobile. But you can actually, a lot of people kind of really get down on the fact that you can play it on an emulator. But even though it's the official Tencent emulator, and if you play with a keyboard and mouse through the Tencent PC emulator, or if you use an Xbox One controller,
Oh, yeah.
it automatically matches you with other players that are playing on those peripherals.
Oh.
So it's and it's pretty cool. But like if you play kids on a screen, 90% of them just running around like bots. But you'll come across some of these kids that can outplay you on a fucking tablet. It's disgusting. But you actually get into some good matches after you play quite a bit and you kind of get out of the muck, if you will. Yeah, there's some good players and some good competition out there on a controller. But other than that, my point with that was I just ordered one of those. You guys have probably seen them. They the plastic mounts that grab your controller like this and then hold your phone on the back. I was surprised. I figured everybody was still trying to be like crazy and get like $50 for those. I looked on Amazon. I got one for $8 free ship. And with the Xbox adding the functionality of being able to stream your games to your phone and everything, I was like, well, I'll go ahead and pick one up. So I got that. And then I've been playing the Black Ops 2 campaign. I started that last week, about halfway through that. The good thing about Call of Duty campaigns is they're pretty fun and they only last like, I don't even know, like 10 hours. Even that? No, not even that. No, they're like 6 or 7 hours, I think. I don't know. They're super short. So long enough to enjoy it, but you can almost sit down and knock it out in one sitting if you really want.
I have a gripe.
What's
Uh-oh.
that?
I would like for on I would like for developers to put how long it takes to get through the story, and also how long it takes to be a completionist. Or to
I agree.
on the back of the
On the
physical
box.
thing, or
Yep.
on like the website, or like on like in Epic or Ubi
Yeah.
Uplay or you
Yeah.
know.
Like an estimated average playtime or something.
Right. Or if it's a multiplayer only game, maybe they could at least list like the amount of game types and maps that are available on the disc before DLC and shit. I agree. I look at one of the first things I do with almost any game is I get on howlongtobeat.com. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that website.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it tells you. It tells you it's just howlongtobeat.com, and then you type the game in, and there's a large database of users, and they will play through the game, and they will list, okay, I played through it on PS4, It took me 8 hours, and I didn't go for any side quests or anything extra, blah, 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 just beat the story. And then somebody else will say, okay, I played through the same game, but I was on Xbox, and I was a completionist. I got all the achievements and shit as I went, and it took me 15 hours, stuff like that. So, and there's enough people using it that it averages out, and it's pretty accurate every time. You can look at it and say, okay, I don't plan on doing any of the side objectives. So Frank seems to have some rebuttal to that statement.
I'm sure probably with like the games that your experience, I would say you're probably a lot more right than I am. But
the games I play are probably a little bit better for that format. If you're talking like RPGs and stuff, I could see that being not as accurate.
Even on Shadow Warrior 2, I'm like about 50% plus way through. I can literally plow through it. On that website, I'm pretty sure it said it takes like 7.5 hours to beat. And I'm like 12 hours in, and I've only done like 6 side quests. And I've been trying to focus on the like there's no way that the
Have you had a lot of failures though?
Bitch, I don't.
Are you garbage?
Dude. I chop shit up.
I don't know. It's been pretty accurate. I've had a couple times where I was like, dude, this game said it was like, because I don't completionist like almost anything. So I've had a couple that said that they were like 12 hours and I beat it in like 8. And I was surprised by that. But it gives you a rough estimate.
I remember, do you remember when GTA 4 came out and there was an achievement for beating the story, I think, within 24 hours?
I think I remember that, yeah. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember I got that achievement within like 3 days of the game coming out, really, really quickly after it came out.
Jesus.
Because I super no-lifed it. And yeah, that's not a good way to play a game.
No, well, see, yeah.
Here's my thing though, is that like I'm starting to, now that we've been doing this and I want to play more games and I actually want to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really realizing that I'm not a good gamer because I will buy tons of games and then I don't finish the stories. I do all the extra stuff, and then when it's time for me to do the story, I don't give a shit. And I always focus on the small things, and it takes me forever to finish like Yakuza or Shenmue or like anything. It takes me just way too long because but I'm changing. And I'm going
Yakuza is an exceptionally bad example though, because that game has incredibly good side quests with like unbelievably good writing and acting, and they're fantastic.
So I brought that point up is from here on out, I'm going to try to work on myself and I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I'm going to just play through the main story again. I don't like replaying games over and over again, but I'm going to start just replaying through the main story and then do a second playthrough and get all into the weeds, like really, turning every stone over and shit. I mean,
did you guys play through? Go ahead.
Oh, for me, like usually when I'm playing a game like that, I will realize that I have spent the first 15 hours doing absolutely fuck all. And then I'll be like, wow, I'm starting to get bored of this game. Oh shit, I gotta plow through the story now. So then after that, I will just like story mission, just straight line through it. Then like ignore all the side stuff from like after I started playing.
I found myself doing that in Bully. I'd get, what was it? There was so there's a scooter that you can buy. If you go to the carnival and play the games, you get tickets and you can buy the scooter for, I want to say it's like 50 or no, it's 75, I think, 75 tickets. And each game, you only win 2 or 3 tickets per game. And I was Let's playing it, and I'm pretty sure I spent like an episode and a half just grinding out one of the games to get 75 tickets, and then bought that scooter. And then I got into the lawn mowing missions in that game, and for whatever reason, the lawn mowing in that game is super satisfying. Little side missions, and so I did a bunch of that, and then and then I was like, okay, I've spent way too much time fucking around, so I just started grinding main story missions. I do the same thing. But Andrew, did you play through the DLCs for Grand Theft Auto 4? Ballad of Gay Tony and Liberty, what was the something of the Damned?
Lost and Damned. I think I played through Lost and Damned, but I didn't play the Ballad of Gay Tony.
Dude, I was looking because I was curious. It's just crazy to me that it's like it looks like it's about 40 to 50 hours of gameplay through the original campaign, and then those 2 DLC expansions, and that's an absurd amount of gameplay. I
I'll
let's played
revisit.
that entire thing too.
I would revisit GTA 4 at some point. Actually, I would
Mm-hmm.
give that another shot. I was about to say that talking about like the way that I play through games like that typically is that's how I got through Death Stranding. I eventually was like I was doing every delivery for every single like little outpost, getting all the stars and everything, and then finally I was like, I gotta
Jesus.
fucking finish this shit.
I want to go back and revisit GTA 5 because if you guys remember when they launched that, GTA Online was like not a thing. I think it was either completely broken or just not even slated for release yet. And so, which was kind of a bummer because everybody was just kind of expecting to go online and play. And so, yeah, I remember I played through the campaign and I enjoyed it, but that's so long. Sometimes it feels like GTA 5 came out a year or two ago, and then you really think about it and you're like, no. GTA 5 is like very old now. What, going on 10 years probably?
That shit's Skyrim old.
Right. It's ridiculous. So I want to go back and play through that because I'm pretty sure there's alternate endings, right? Isn't there like at least 2 different ways? I think because there's 3 characters in the game, and I think like you can choose an ending almost for like each character or something. I don't remember exactly what it was.
I can't remember how it works exactly, but there is a way where like X character will die essentially. So you're in the end game with only 2 or 1 of the 3 original, yeah.
Dude, and they did such a good job with the characters in that game too. Like, was it? Can't remember the guy's name, but there was basically like CJ from San Andreas, and then there was like the rich Franklin, yeah, and then there was the rich old white guy,
Michael.
who was kind of like he was kind of like he was kind of like Walter White, almost like a family man, but just kind of doing it to, you know what I mean, to take care of his family or whatever. And then you had, go ahead, help me out, Trevor, right? Trevor was obviously one of the best characters in a video game ever, if you ask me. I don't know. They had like 3 really like deep, thought out characters that I really enjoyed.
Michael always reminded me a lot of like Robert De Niro in Heat.
Yeah.
And that's a vibe. That's a vibe that I'm into. So I ended up liking him, I think, more than most people did, but
it was cool. Yeah. I liked all 3 of those characters and everything that they had to do to contribute to that game. Trevor was something special. I could deal like if they announced the next GTA and it was like a Trevor GTA, I'd be all about that. Did Frank die?
Yeah, I don't know. He said he was gonna have some gastrointestinal.
Oh, that's right. So. Yeah, he gave us a warning for his IBS.
What kind of like vibe would you like to see for a new GTA or a new if Rockstar was going to make a different sort of open world game? You know, like a Red Dead Redemption or something. What would you like to see?
Let me go first.
Oh,
okay.
I would like to see GTA 6, The Moon.
Oh, that's right. We already did this.
Future, yeah. I think we did all touch on this before, but I think my 2 would be a proper Rockstar pirate era. I think that would be fantastic. I feel like Rockstar could actually pull it off.
Those boats would handle like shit, though.
That's okay.
You know that.
And then the cheap answer is I would absolutely love to see an 80s theme return. You know, go back to Vice City.
Fuck yeah.
For whatever reason, that one, I don't even think it was the gameplay or the storyline or anything really, other than just the aesthetic of it. Just being in the 80s, feeling like you're. I mean, there was a lot of really cool nods to like Scarface and the Goodfellas and stuff like that. So that made it even better. But
your main character is Ray Liotta too. Like that's pretty
right. Cool. Yeah. You can't. I mean, you know, whenever it comes to GTA characters, I think Trevor and Ray Liotta are right up there, tied with each other. I don't even know if I could pick one over the other.
I've got.
What were you gonna say, Mark?
I want to see Grand Theft Auto in the Midwest because where's every right? Where's Kansas City? Where's St. Louis? Where's Minneapolis? Detroit would be nitty gritty dirt, son.
Yeah, like an open world RoboCop in Detroit.
Jesus.
What isn't Watch Dogs set in Chicago? The first one?
Ugh, I think
Sounds right.
I couldn't. I got part of the way through it, and I just couldn't. I don't know what it was.
That game would have been a lot better if it wasn't the buggiest piece of shit ever from
That's what
launch.
I'm saying,
Like if they
on
would have
PC.
finished it, spent a couple more years on it, maybe it would have been all right. But nah. One thing that really bothered me about that game was you could take a Ferrari, you could take the fastest car in the game and drive it down the interstate as fast as you could, and then just into a building, and it would just like barely like ride up the side of the building and be like, you know, there'd be a spark or two that would fly off and your car would be fine. And just that takes me right out of it. I hate that crap. Hate it.
I want to
That's
I
like-
want to like it. I want to play it. I want to get through because I got for free. I got the first one and the second one because we did all the bullshit. Remember, Andrew? Didn't we do like whatever or watch the things? And we got the
Yeah, because you watched the Uplay, they gave you free copies of blah 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 whatever.
Yeah, I want to, but it crashes all the time on my PC. I'm sure it runs great on
Imagine that.
on console, but it runs like hammered dog shit for me on PC. I'm
I
sorry.
feel like Ubisoft has like really locked down this market for me, where they're making these AAA games with outrageous production values, and they're making a lot of them quickly and releasing them, and people seem to like them, and I am immune to being interested in them at all. It's like
Yeah.
all these games that look really nice, but have just like, I don't know, like, do any of you care at all about Watch Dogs Legion?
No.
And after hearing like all the source code was leaked for it,
Eh,
uh,
I'm kind of I'm kind of interested in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but it's only because I'm a sucker. I love the Norse gods. I think all that mythology is fascinating, really cool. But the last AC game I played was Brotherhood, I think. It's been a long ass time, man.
and I want to. I really love the Assassin's Creed games, but Origins and what was the Rome one? Origins was
Odyssey.
on Odyssey. They will not run on this computer, and it's got like, well, I don't know. A few months ago, it was a $700 graphics card. They will not run. It will not run, and I canceled. Actually, last night I canceled Uplay.
Good.
Whoa.
canceled-
Ooh, he's speaking with his wallet, ladies and gentlemen.
I canceled a lot of stuff last night. Yeah, I canceled
hear ya.
Uplay. I really want to get into those games, but even with the graphics turned all the way down, I mean, everything turned all the way down, I get hitching and lagging whenever I walk around and I do the stuff you're supposed to do in the game, which is like walk around and ride a fucking camel, you know, whatever. And it just
Yeah.
bugs out and it hitches, and I can't do that. But I can play all these other extremely graphics intensive games with my rig, and they look beautiful with G-Sync and everything that I got in this thing, and they just run like hammered dog shit. And I wish Ubisoft would just figure it the fuck out, because I want to play those games, and I want to play Valhalla, but I don't know if I will.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Did you guys play The Division?
Yes, I played both of them.
Which one? The first or the... Okay. So I didn't really play the first one, but I played a decent amount of the second with Nate and Souse and Derek. And we beat the game. We went all the way to the final whatever fight at the White House or whatever, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed that. And that's weird because I didn't really play the first one, and I don't really do those games that much. But when you have like a crew to go through that with, it was enjoyable. I liked it.
Yeah,
I love-
I
Great
played
point.
I played the first one. Sorry. Well, I played the first one a lot more than I played the second one. And I did like one of the best things about it is running around Manhattan with no fucking people in it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And like they're kind of fun games, but I always had an issue when I would play them where I felt like I played them on console, and I felt like the controls were not very tight. They were a little laggy. It couldn't.
Yeah,
the
I
aiming
agree.
was just like not good.
I don't know what
So-
it is about Ubisoft games, but I think they all feel like that. Even I don't know if it was it Badlands or Wildlands or something like that. One of the Ghost Recons.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that a little bit, but it was just like every Ubisoft game just feels like it's almost like it's just not quite polished enough or something. I don't know what it is.
I really liked Wildlands, and I had to stop playing it because it was not fun. Like I was fighting with the controls too fucking much.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Breakpoint. I almost wish that we would go back to playing Breakpoint because that was fun.
I think
never
I'd
got
give
to
that
play
another shot.
Wildlands. I would. I'm like,
I don't know if I played Breakpoint. I would try it.
I enjoyed it the
was
shit out
fun.
of it because it was like it was almost like you're gonna have to hold with me because I'm going back in my memory troves here for a second. What's the Far Cry and that other and Just Cause. It's almost like Far Cry and Just Cause with all the stories and the side missions and stuff, but it's a lot more realistic with like the bullet mechanics and the bullet drop and the windage and everything else. And I really dig those things in Ghost Recon and the Tom Clancy games whenever they
I
are
kind of
more realistic.
thought of it as like a poor man's version of Metal Gear Solid 5. Because you have a lot of freedom of like how you want to get around the map and how to
Yeah.
like unlock different weapons and stuff that you want to get, and you can attack from lots of different angles and use all these different kinds of approaches and stuff. But without all of like Kojima's madness in the writing.
That's how I remember Wildlands, if that's the one I'm thinking of, unless
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Breakpoint. But yeah, there was like compounds and stuff that you had to take to progress the story, and you could approach that however you wanted to. Basically,
Yeah.
once it started, it was the same thing, but you could kind of set it up a little different each time.
You
Every
dealt with
every region.
Oh, go ahead. He dealt with drug
Every re-
dealers.
Every region in Wildlands had its own like boss of the cartel that like ran that area. And so every region had its own sort of storyline that you would play through in like 4 or 5 missions to take out that.
That's what I
specific
remember.
leader.
Yeah.
That's how Wildlands
Okay.
worked.
You played against drug dealers and not like a crazy Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg controlling an island. Drug dealers
Correct.
are nerds. Drug dealers are nerds.
Both.
Both, yeah.
No, he played well,
Drug dealers are nerds.
It's drug dealers in Wildlands. It's nerds and
Yeah, it was drug dealers.
Hey, we got really spun out here on a topic.
That's okay.
Can I gripe? I have one gripe about Breakpoint, and it's that there is a like hub city in the kind of like middle of the map where you like use as your base of operations. It's like the center of the rebellion or whatever, and it's called Erewhon, which is nowhere spelled backwards. And don't do
Aw,
that.
That's cute.
Don't put shit backwards in your games and be
Don't
like
do
it's clever. Don't write that. It's lazy. It sucks. I hate it.
I'm not seeing that Breakpoint on Steam. It must be Uplay only.
I
They
think
must
we
have
have it on
stopped doing
Epic.
that.
We have it on Epic, I think.
Oh, they signed the deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Those bastards. Did you guys ever play the Homefront reboot? I don't know why that just popped in my head. You guys remember Homefront from back in the day? It was a pretty decent game on like what, Xbox, or it was 360, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I did play that.
Yeah, they recently rebooted that. And by recently, I mean this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah, let me Google it. Let me see what that
There-
was.
There was a sequel to that Homefront
Wait, you're talking about the one
game.
that
I
they
can't remember what it's
canceled,
called.
and we can't talk about why it was canceled.
Huh?
And me? No, I'm talking about this one came out. Homefront Revolution. The Revolution came out 2016.
Yeah, but the original sequel was the one that was canceled because of
Well, this one is the one that I actually got. I went to the Twitch headquarters in San Francisco. I was a part of this. It was so funny, dude. So this is how it happened. I got an email, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have this tournament at Twitch headquarters, and blah 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 blah. You guys are gonna be competing against each other. It's gonna be a fun thing. here's the budget that we're offering you. You're going to stay for 3 days, whatever. And I was like, yeah, no, I saw some gameplay of that and it looks like hot fucking garbage. No, thank you. And they sent me a follow-up email and they're like, Adam Sessler is going to be hosting the whole thing. And I was like, well, I grew up watching Adam Sessler, so that was interesting to me. And then they doubled my offer as far as money was. And I was like, okay, I'll go to San Francisco for 3 days. And I went and did it. And, it was so fucking broken, man. It was fun. And I got to meet a childhood,
Hero.
star that I grew up watching. Yeah, I guess you could say hero. Gave this game a 3 out of 5. It was enjoyable, but yeah, that game was hard. I mean, it's pretty funny that neither one of you even know that it happened. So that's how great it was.
I got that confused with Patriots.
I have
because,
it. Fuck you.
Because
Oh,
wait, Homefront, is that the one that we need to buy and replay through? Is that the one where you? Never mind. Stop. But yeah, no, Patriots was the one that I brought up. That's the one that got canceled because of the controversy around it, and we can't talk about it.
I don't remember that. Sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember the details. So you can fill us in afterwards.
Yeah.
Patriots. That sounds like a Rainbow Six game.
Wait, what are we
I'm
talking
thinking of
about
something
here?
else. I don't know.
Homefront.
Is Homefront the team-based one where everything changes, where you're the plumbers?
No, that's Freedom
Plumbers.
Fighters.
Oh. All right, before we get way spun out, I'm going to throw one more at you guys. Remember Mercenaries? Now
Hell
that
yeah.
game was the shit, dude. When are they going to fucking get a sequel to that?
Mercenaries 2 is fucking so much fun. I love
When
any
did that
game that
come
has
out?
like super destructible environments, though. That was an
Yeah.
original. That was an original Xbox game, I think.
Mercenaries 2? No, Mercenaries was, yeah, I think. Or was 2? 2005.
Oh,
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
2005 was the original.
2008. was
2008, yeah.
two. World in
Microsoft
Flames.
Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. I wonder if that's back compat, because I would definitely go back and check that out and hope that the controls aren't shit.
Those games were, yeah, that game was a blast. It was really
Oh,
fun.
And that was on the Zero.
Couldn't you?
Division.
Didn't you have like four? You have like 4 or 5 people on your squad or whatever. You could switch back and forth.
Yeah, you had a number of different people at your disposal. There were all these different factions that you could sort of ally with or, play off each other. There was like a Russian mob faction and then like I can't even remember all of them, but it was a cool game. And also
I would just always switch to the guy with explosives so I could blow walls up and shit.
Mm-hmm. They
Yeah.
had the Mohawk.
That game was
Yeah.
fun, and it was also on the Zero game engine, which also had like the original Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 on. Mercenaries.
Holy
and
shit, that makes
Mercenaries
sense. Very similar.
2.
Yeah.
That's why that one was Yeah.
This is developed
That's
by
a good
that
engine.
was developed by Pandemic, I think, right? And then
Yeah,
they got absorbed into somebody else and like obliterated, sadly.
Yeah. They eat up and shit out.
It's
Hey,
the good old days.
Thanks, E EA.
we got spun out, but we were trying to talk about
Phantasmagoria.
Phantasmaphobia.
Phantasmagoric.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Fanta Orgasmic.
I need one of those.
So you can be a
So,
demure geisha.
what do
Exactly.
we're gonna be Sherpas. We're gonna be Sherpas for Hova to play some of that game. How would you describe it, Andrew? Though, how would you describe it? Because I've had 2 people that have watched our live streams, and they still don't understand what the game is about. And I'm like, it's like Ghostbusters, but like imagine it.
It's like
being
CSI, right?
Well, here's how I would describe it.
Paranormal CSI.
I would say that you are the Ghostbusters intern. So
Oh.
before Vinkman and all of them get there with their witty shits and their jumpsuits, you go out there and they pay you nothing, and you just have to figure out what the ghost is that they're trying to bust, so they know how to do it. Is it a phantom? Is it a Oni? Is it a specter? Is it a poltergeist? Whatever. There are all these different classifications of ghosts that have slightly different characteristics. And you go with your little toolbox essentially and try to figure out what the ghosts are. And then once you figure that out, you leave. You fucking get the fuck out of there
Yeah.
Before it eats you alive.
before it eats your whole ass. Because it will.
Huh.
I died a
You
lot.
don't fight them. You leave.
I died a
All
lot.
right.
I think I should be able to fight him, but apparently you can't take swings at
No.
fucking ghosts.
No, that's what the Ghostbusters do. You're an intern. You get paid $40 if you're lucky.
Why are you giving me
Or
sticks
murderous
and a
ghosts.
fucking crucifix if I can't do shit?
Just to keep yourself alive a little longer.
Oh, well, that's why we always lose tripods and other various.
Proton packs are expensive, dog. You think they just hand out those ghost traps to the interns?
That's true. I mean, that makes a lot of sense the way you're breaking it down.
So yeah, that's basically it. That's the idea.
We
Also,
roll-
you can't run for whatever reason.
no, you can walk slightly faster is what the shift button does.
You can
So-
mall walk.
You mall walk. You roll up in a van to the farmhouse, the high school, the asylum, and then you get to go in there with your flashlight, with your UV light, with your EMF detector, with your thermometer, and you can inspect the place and you can figure out where the ghost is, and you can, try to figure out exactly what it is. And sometimes somebody picks up the spirit box and they say, "Hey, Margaret Martinez, your mama's a hoe," and then the ghost starts hunting and killing everybody. So
Jesus.
It has a lot of like cool voice stuff going on, so you can talk to the game and the game listens to you pretty well.
What? That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
So like when you have a ghost box, which is like a little kind of FM radio sort of deal, if you take it and you ask the ghost a question like "How old are you?" it'll usually respond. It'll say something like "young" or "old," or if you ask where it is, sometimes it'll be like "behind," and
Oh, fuck.
and then you poop your whole pants.
Yeah.
off your butt.
Okay. Nice. Much excited.
It's cool. It's fun. It's just like it's clearly very in early access. There's a lot of rough edges on it. Like learning all the stuff that Frank and I just said is not something that is really done through the game. Like you have to do some research. You have to get lucky with your people you play with or whatever.
And what we're gonna do is that we're not gonna make you play against like a bunch of like 12 and 13-year-old girls and have you go through that experience. We're gonna be your Sherpas into the spiritual world, and we're gonna work
Yes.
through this together. Okay, we're gonna be a team. We're gonna give you advice, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna get on that fucking truck, and we're gonna get the fuck out of there. Nobody's gonna die. It's gonna be safe.
I'm gonna die.
We'll
I'll
only
tell you.
maybe-
I'm the one who dies. I'm the one. Who
We're
dies.
only gonna feed you to the ghosts maybe once.
Okay. Fair. That's fair. I can deal with that.
Oh yeah, it's a something.
It's fun as hell. It's just enjoyable. I really like no game has really sold me on the concept of VR until I started to play this and I was like, man, this would be really good at VR actually. This might be the thing that sells me a Quest.
I was gonna say, you gotta pick yourself up an Oculus, man.
I'm thinking about it.
If you want, let me know. I haven't sold my original yet, so I'd give you a fair deal on that.
No, well we'll see about that. Is your
I
original a
spent-
Quest?
Yeah, the original Quest.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't remember how many gigs though. I bought it when they were completely sold out, so I spent like $550 on it, unfortunately. Yeah. But shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Andrew, is it hot? Do you have a fan to cool yourself down with?
It honestly is hot in here, dude. I'm
do,
glad
actually.
you could tell. 78 in my office, and I'm fucking dying.
You cooling yourself off with that?
That's
Is that
right.
helping you? Is
Are
that
you gonna
helping
turn him
you
into
out?
a geisha?
No.
What kind of tricky software you got, dude?
So I'm just wondering if you
Oh, God.
knew
What are you doing?
that Megan the Stallion has posted a new video of herself cosplaying as a Mortal Kombat 11 character.
Oh no, I had not heard of this.
Yeah,
Is she Melina? Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you're
Oh,
hot
very
and
good.
bothered, you're hot and bothered and flustered, you might want to cool yourself off with that fan just a little bit more.
If
Dude,
this
I
fan
need
had,
one of those.
like,
Like those.
this fan had some like metal tips on it that I could throw and decapitate people with, then
Well,
props to Megan Thee Stallion.
that's how you say it, I guess.
She got two E's in there. Maybe you don't say it like that, but that's how I say it.
Apparently, it's a really it's an extremely well done cosplay. And normally, people like that you wouldn't think, but apparently they say she's a gamer. I don't know. I can't take that with a.
You hear these stories every once in a while, and it's always kind of like, do you remember it was years ago where Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter, I think, got her into Warcraft?
Oh yeah,
And they
she
went
was
to-
addicted.
They went to conventions and like played and cosplayed and stuff. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Laurie Strode, y'all. Eat shit, Michael Myers, fireball.
Fucking nerd. Oh,
That's what Joe Manganiello, he has his own like D&D thing. He's like a huge tabletop gamer. The whole video of Henry Cavill building his computer that was so super big at the beginning of the year.
yeah.
Terry Crews,
Yeah.
Terry Crews.
Hey,
the guy that helped him build that is a buddy of mine.
Huh.
I want to meet Terry Crews. He seems like the nicest guy ever.
I want to meet somebody who wants to help me build a PC.
Yeah, I can't help you there. Frank can. I installed a cooling fan in mine, replaced it. I was super proud of myself. Super proud.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing.
I was really scared, you know. I had to put new thermal paste on and everything, and I was like, "Oh God!"
that's the worst.
That's the scariest.
That's the
That I know that was the first thing I've ever done. I mean, I don't even think I've installed like a hard drive or anything at that point. And then I had to replace a cooling fan, and everybody was like, "Just do it." And then I found out you had to do thermal paste, and they were like, "Just do it."
Just a pea-sized drop of the thermal paste, and then.
Yep.
Hey,
It worked, man. I got it.
They're changing how you do that, though.
I like that. I like the little X.
No P.
Everybody got their own little thermal paste schemes.
How long until we have to start thermal pasting our Xboxes and PlayStations?
Oh God.
I don't
What
know,
do you
man.
think?
Is
I think
retro here
consoles-
going to be a thing?
Yeah, true. You think consoles are just going to phase themselves out? Like, surely they will, right? I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous notion in the age that we live in that you have to buy a specific box to play specific games.
The thing is, people are so stupid, though, they can't do that. That's why consoles are still a thing, is because...
That's why they exist, yeah.
Think about the average person's intelligence. And,
Well, I
and
mean-
understand that 50% of the population is... boom.
You don't even have to be shitty about it. Like
Age too, though. I mean, a
some
lot
people are
of
just like-
gamers.
Some people want to just like pick up a controller and play a Mario game every once in a while.
And not have to worry
Like-
about changing settings and shit like
Yeah,
that.
and don't want to worry about a whole subset of specialized knowledge that they just like,
Yeah.
don't want to fuck with.
And there's a huge... I'd like to know the statistics on how many console gamers are actually children. You know, it's not just a stereotype. It's pretty obvious notion that it's a lot of kids that either don't have the know-how themselves or have parents that don't want to go that route or don't have the knowledge, or for whatever reason they just want to give them a console instead.
Yeah.
So I think there'll always be a market for it, but I just wonder if it's going to stay cost effective for like Xbox and Sony to keep pumping out affordable consoles, because I feel like every year they've got to be like dropping in sales. I haven't like looked. I know that information is pretty much mostly readily available, but
It kind of depends, I guess. But also too, they'll be making the same box for 6 years, and it's gonna get cheaper constantly for them
Right.
to make. You
true.
know, like,
Yeah.
prices for memory and stuff fall so quickly now.
Right.
What do you got going on in the background there, Frank?
Well, I done goofed because I was gonna go into a story about EVE Online and how they had the biggest battle of all time of online gaming over the past like few weeks. A huge alliance battle that you guys aren't interested in, but it's basically I think they had like 8,400 players or eight they're almost like 10,000 players concurrently playing, battling to secure but it done goofed, and this is just one of the end scenes of Final Fantasy 15 that I would like to ruin for people. So,
All right. Fair enough.
stuff happens.
Ugh.
It's
I
a
mean, that's
crystal.
true.
You're always going after a crystal. Blah blah blah.
Is that a
Final Fantasy.
Sephiroth egg?
It looks like the bomb that Master Chief rides at the end of Halo 2.
Oh god. I remember being so pissed at that ending.
What does he say? She's like, Master Chief, what are you doing?
Finishing
Giving him back. Yeah. Or I thought he said giving him back their bomb. Yeah. Finishing the fight is also in there, but I can't remember when.
Fucking garbage. What?
It's
Don't
just
hesitate.
It's just everything that's going on, man. Like, I just hate how toxic everything is now and how people treat each other because now we even got games like Among Us where they have report buttons so you can ban toxic players like Hova. And it's just like everybody's just so mean to each other.
What the F, dude?
Well, I mean, that's big time news, man. I mean, that's why you can't play Among Us, and that's a big thing that the developers of Among Us have started is they've got.
I don't understand where the mute button started failing to solve all the problems out there.
Because
Well-
you yell so loud that it goes past the mute button.
It makes me easier to identify for them to mute me.
It's also tough for a game like Among Us where communication is one of the points of the game.
Yeah,
Well, like you're supposed to be talking to each other to figure stuff out.
true.
I don't know. It's hard to think of games that don't have like really toxic communities at this point. Games that are successful. Like I spent a lot of time playing Dead by Daylight. That's a rough community. Those people are real mad. Mostly at the developers, but still.
It's always going to be a thing. I mean, gaming is made up by a lot of socially introverted, awkward people, A, and B, you always have an element of increased shit talk and self-confidence whenever you're sitting somewhere remotely interacting with other people that are thousands of miles away with no repercussions to your actions. So it's just always going to be a thing.
Yeah, but I was Halloween day. So we tried to do Phantasmophobia. What is the actual name of the game?
Phasmophobia.
Yes. Phasmophobia.
It's Phasmophobia.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean it.
We tried to play that Halloween night, and there was only like 25,000 or 20,000 people playing it. Like, whenever I played it during the day, but whenever we tried to play it at night, there was like 55,000, 60,000 people trying to play it. So we couldn't stream. We lost like all of our EXP and money, and I'm pretty sure I lost items without actually taking them. Like, huge issues. But earlier in that day, I played the game, and I played online with a bunch of people, and I got into a level or a match or whatever you want to call it. I got into an experience with like a bunch of like 12 and 13-year-old girls. And I have never been talked down to so rudely. It made me feel bad. Like, maybe I shouldn't be playing this because they're like, are you a fucking moron? What are you doing? Like, do you know how to play this game? I'm like, I played it for like 9 hours and I'm doing the best I can. And like, you guys are like,
by the way, I'm a grown-ass man.
I know.
You got Mean Girls.
I did. And like, it's just one of those games where I don't want to play with randoms. I'd rather play with people because, man, I might have to seek counseling because of how they fucking talk to me. It was toxic from like those little. They had to have been. They couldn't have been like over 16. They did not have keys to their own car. They no. I was completely just destroyed emotionally by these young women, and I'm okay. Whatever. That's all I gotta say.
I think the first
Toxic.
time I played, I think the first night I played, I ended up playing with a guy who was in VR, and he would just kept walking up to me and patting my head in VR. I didn't love that, but also I respected that he spent the money on it, so he got to do that.
Man.
I
That's
don't think I talked to you guys about this. I actually finished another game recently that was pretty brief, and I got it for free because I was on like one of those online CD key sites, and I was buying something, and they were like, "Hey, if you throw in an extra $1 at the end, we'll give you 2 random games, just 2 random game keys." And one of them was this game, Lust for Darkness.
Oh yeah. You said this. Yeah.
Sounds hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Explain it.
It's real horny. It's a real horny game.
Oh, this is the game you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's a walking simulator basically, but if you were trying to walk into Cthulhu's butthole, essentially.
Oh my god.
So, like, seriously, the whole game, the plot of the game is that you go to this mansion because your wife went missing, and the mansion is having like an Eyes Wide Shut style, like masquerade party that is
Orgy.
clearly, even before you get to the bone-in, you know that that's where it's headed. But then once you get to the bone-in, you move past the bone-in, and then you get to, the unnameable ones, and you start walking around in some tentacle fields, and
Jesus.
looking at people with their innards ripped out and stuff, but still trying to bone. It's pretty wild.
Wow.
That was a pretty, I wouldn't say good, but it was an interesting like 3 hours that I spent on that. Played through the whole thing. I did not do the side quests.
I'm going to segue into something else. HP Lovecraft oriented, Cthulhu oriented. I really like that show, but I do not understand what the hell is going on a majority of the time. It really
Lovecraft Country.
it really points back to like a lot of like important things that we need to understand about like the racial tension and stuff in this country, and it really brings up like some good points and some good history and stuff that a lot of people don't remember from like learning or understand as us being Caucasian males. It really does a good job at it, but like sometimes it's like, what the fuck is that even happening? What? And it's just like I like it, but man, it's just some of it is just.
But even if you're like, you want to watch a science fiction show, you only have HBO, you would like it to also address some race issues, and you would like it to be good, you just watch Watchmen. Because Watchmen does all that shit. Watchmen's great. If you haven't watched Watchmen, you should watch it. It's really good.
I have not seen Watchmen.
Yeah, but on that point, I want to ask, who watches The Watchmen?
Me.
Andrew.
The Nielsen rating families do. Because,
It's the joke from the fucking
I know.
The graphic novel.
Speaking of TV,
And giant blue penises?
Speaking of Zack Snyder.
yeah, Rob Schneider. I just subscribed to. Actually, I started a 2-week trial for YouTube TV myself. So I was having the issue where every Sunday trying to pirate, allegedly, the Chiefs game,
Admittedly.
and getting very frustrated with terrible stream quality, or cuts in and out of service, or it just not working at all, or 15 ads, and then whatever. I said, screw this. I'm going to figure something out. And YouTube TV, I guess it started at 50 and they've gone up to 65 now, which is a bit of a bummer. But if you think about it, it's still cheaper than
your satellite
Oh, yeah.
TV, your cable packages, and most importantly, you're not locked into a contract. You can cancel at any time. So if I want to just cancel it at the end of the football season, which is legitimately the only reason I fucking got it, then I can do that and be okay. So, but so far so good. It's actually really cool. It's got a cool feature like where whatever you're watching, when you go to the guide, what you're watching is still in the background, like through it's opaque and you can see through it. And so you can, browse your guide that way. You can also like completely customize your guide, which I'm pretty sure is probably already a thing on other services. But it also has one feature I didn't know about is as unlimited cloud DVR. So you can set all your programs and stuff to record, and it's legitimately unlimited. I think the only stipulation with that is that stuff deletes after 9 months, but still,
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
My wife and I tried out a whole bunch of different like online TV solutions, and YouTube TV is the one that we've stuck with the longest. It's
Pretty good.
solid.
Yeah.
I will say
Were you different?
one thing though is that I do pay for cable television only because of just to watch the damn Chiefs, just to watch them.
Right.
But I had a major complaint. I think it wasn't the last game, but it was the game before whenever they played the Broncos in the snow.
Broncos. Yep.
It wasn't until the third quarter whenever I got to see the line markers.
Line of scrimmage. Yeah, I remember you asking about that.
Like, what I did not see that, but I think you may have seen that on your pirated stuff, and I did not see it.
The broadcast I was watching, I'm pretty sure it was there. Yeah. So if you're talking about the line of scrimmage and the first down marker, they usually have those in white and yellow. The individual line markers, I don't think they usually digitize those. They just try to clear the snow on commercial breaks.
I meant like the scrimmage, like the digitally drawn on ones.
The yellow line where they're trying to get. Yeah.
No, so like that entire game, like I had to focus on it and I had to listen to it and I had to watch it because I need to know where they need to make it because I could not see.
You're looking for the guy on the sideline holding the yard marker, the chain gang.
And it was like, what is going on, man? Am I at a high school football game? And that was
That's
on,
weird,
like,
yeah.
That was on like, but it did, and it eventually showed up like in like the last.
It was probably just a problem with their broadcast then.
But
they might have been having problems with it.
But everybody else that I talked to that had watched it on Charter and off of that broadcast network didn't have that issue. I was like, how does this even happen?
Weird.
Yeah, and it really made that game really tense for me. But, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
them Gravy Boys, who do we have to shout out to?
We them boys.
Who do we have to shout out to?
Tyler.
Oh, yeah, sorry. To Tyler Edwards, thank you for the art. To Javelin, thank you for letting us use your song. Soda Popinski, it's the intro to our show. What do y'all got?
All the patrons. Whoa,
All our
whoa.
patrons.
Thanks for sticking with us.
I keep forgetting to drop the bonus content tier, but I swear to God, I'm gonna do that tonight.
Damn it, Andrew.
Sorry.
Right after we catch ghosts.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
If you guys
We
don't
gotta-
have... Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good.
If you guys don't have a final word, I do have one.
Go for it.
Thoughtless electorate.